leadership vlog, or video blog if you will, and this is on July 6th, 2017, and it's about building virtual relationships. And building relationships takes time. You can't do it straight off. It's not something you're just going to meet somebody and just say, hey, you're my new best friend. It doesn't work that way. You have to spend time getting to know them and get to understand them, find out what they like, find out what they don't like, find out what you have in common, find out what kind of strengths they give that you don't have. Things like that that you can actually take time and just learn about them. Just like face-to-face relationships where you get to learn that person that way, you have to spend that time learning them over the internet as well on your virtual teams. The problem is you kind of forget sometimes that the virtual team is there, or that a virtual person out on the location is still there, is still a member of your team, and you don't take the time to spend with them, to understand them and do that. So we have to be really mindful that we are taking that time and spending it with them. So think about it from their point of view. If they are out by themselves and dialing into your team, how are they going to feel? Put yourself in their shoes and think about how you're going to feel. If you were all by yourself, if you were in a remote office, you didn't know these people, but they're your teammates and you have to dial into them, how would that make you feel? What kind of emotions would you be going through right then? A little anxious, a little nervous to meet these people. You don't know what they're about. They may be in a completely different country than you are, may have different cultures. It could be a complete slew of things that is different. So we have to take some time and figure out where they stand, what they're doing, how they're doing it. So think of the yesterday's leadership challenge, and that's what it's all about, is getting to know them. Getting to understand where they come from, what they're interested in, about their family. How can you make them feel welcome? Honestly, using that information, how can you make them feel welcome when they come in? Spend, say, the first 10 minutes of your first meeting just talking about them, getting to know each other, doing introductions, figuring out who's who and what's what, and how you can work better together. Like I said before, figuring out what kind of strengths they have that they're going to bring to your team, because there is a reason they're on your team. So figure that out. And then on subsequent meetings when they're dialing in, spend a couple of minutes, say you know something about their kids. They said their son was Bobby. Well, how's little Bobby doing in this little league? You said he was playing a big game last week. Did they win? How did it happen? Did he score the winning run? Just talk to him about that. It really builds that rapport and builds that relationship between the two of you. So for yesterday's leadership challenge, really take the time and fill that out. And it doesn't have to be something that you fill out all at the same time. There was a time I was on the phone with my boss. He was in another state, and he mentioned that he really liked baseball, and he was talking about how they had a amateur baseball team in that city, and that he was kind of wanting to go, but he wasn't sure he could get tickets, things like that. And just he had done something really nice for me the week past, and so I thought I'd return the favor. And so I just picked up the phone and called the box office for that baseball team and gave them a call and said, yeah, I'd like 2 tickets, and got the seats. Honestly, it cost me like 15 bucks for 2 tickets. They were really super cheap, and sent it over to him. I just emailed him back the form and said, here you go, here's your tickets, have fun, boss. And you know, he was so grateful, and it built that relationship. And that's really what it's about, is building the relationship. People spend thousands, millions of dollars. These companies, these huge, massive companies, spend tons of money on communication for their teams. And really what it comes down to, and not saying you shouldn't go to a communication class or whatever, but what it comes down to is spending time with the other person. It doesn't matter if they're virtual or if they're sitting in front of you. You have to stop, you have to slow down, you have to get off your smartphones, click, all those wonderful things that we like to walk down the hall and not pay attention to. You have to get off of those things and spend time with that person, just face to face, getting to know them. And that's really what it's about. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the new blog, the new setup. Hey, got some new fun stuff. So I will see you tomorrow as we finalize the week.